Hello, this is Pastor Roland, checking in to see how you're doing. And today I want to continue reading from the Gospel of Mark, beginning with chapter 8, verse 13. The Gospel of Mark, chapter 8, verse 13. And he left them, in other words, Jesus left the people he was with, and entered into the ship, again departed to the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf. And he charged them, saying, Take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have no bread. And when Jesus knew it, he said unto them, Why reason you? Because you have no bread? Perceive you not, neither understand? Have you your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see you not? And having ears, hear you not? And do you not remember? When I brake the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took you up? They said unto him, 12. And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets? And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took you up? And they said 7. And he said unto them, How is it that you do not understand? Okay, verse 21, 12 to 21. Well, very often Christ said, You have eyes, but you see not. You have ears, but you hear not. You have a mind, but you understand not. One of the greatest blessings that we can have is understanding. That's what you parents need, is understanding. You moms and you dads, you need understanding. How many times when you were a child, okay, did people talk at you but not to you? See, remember when you were a child and they messed it, your parents, your mom, your dad, or other authorities, they messed it up. See, sometimes they were too harsh when they could have been not harsh. A lot of times you were sorry already. They didn't have to be harsh. Didn't add anything. All it did was tempt you to rebel or to hate them. And then other times they were too soft, too weak, when they should have been a bit more firm. Mom, can I go out after midnight and with these other teenagers in the car? See, that's when you should have put your foot down. No. See, Mom, can I have a cell phone? Mom, can I have Dad, can I have a video game? Can I have a computer in my room? See, can I have an iPhone? See, too soft when you should have been a bit more firm. See, too soft. But the main point I'm getting at is you need understanding to deal with your children and for yourself. You need understanding so you can see the meaning of the moment and then move properly with the right word, the right gesture. Not too much, not too little, not too soon and not too late. See, it's a very subtle thing. See, that's why I've always said you can't study your way to God. See, and you can't study your way to understanding either. In fact, study is likely to interfere. Because what we do to compensate for our lack of understanding is we learn something. You know, you go memorize something somewhere or hear somebody say something, and then you go home and apply it to the situation. And so you apply it wrongly, with too much force, too strongly or too weakly, with a wrong timing, and just mess it all up. Life is very subtle. So what you need is understanding, which you can get from God. Okay? Now, the only way I know, okay, is first of all, your heart has to be softened. Now, whether you can begin to soften your own heart or whether God needs to start to enter, your life and start to soften it for you. I don't know which. But for sure you need to have your heart softened a little bit. If you have a hard heart, you have no understanding. Jesus also talked about the hardness of their hearts. Gandhi talked about that too. I forget what he said. They asked him what was the thing that worried him the most, I think, or troubled him the most. He said the hardness of hearts. I think he said of the rich. I'm not sure, but the hardness of heart. Well, you have a hard heart too. You have a hard heart too, in a lot of ways. Okay, so you need that. And then you need to want to be willing to, then you need the truth. You cannot have understanding without the truth. Truth with a capital T. The spirit of truth, a wordless truth, what you know in your heart. Wordless. You need that. Okay? And so what's blocking you from that? Well, a couple of things. First of all, your big ego. See, you want to be right. It's not you're less. See, you need to become more interested in what is right and less interested in who is right. See, more interested in what is right and less interested in who is right. So you have to approach life like a good math student or a mathematician. If there's something, if you're making a mistake somehow in life with your kids, with your partner. In life, you're making a mistake. You can see the evidence of it. But some people's heart is so hard. See, they don't even perceive their own mistake. They don't even see their own mistake. A lot of times, kids try to make you aware, Mom, see, you have a hard heart, and your children are crying. But you harden your heart even more. See? So, you need to soften your heart, and then you need to be willing to admit the truth. See, willing to admit you're wrong. Okay? So, if you're wrong, then you have to be willing to admit it in your heart. So if you're willing to admit you're wrong, then you're open to the truth. Okay? Then the truth can enter through your infidelity, through your hardness of heart. It can enter, and then it can begin to do magical things within, change you. Okay, and then you can have understanding, which comes from God. So, like I said earlier, the best thing I know is to learn the meditation that I have. Practice it every 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at noon, 5 minutes in the evening. Which is basically learning to become still and getting out of your imagination and out of your thinking. Back into the present moment. Okay? See, God is in the present moment. He's all around. He's within you. But you somehow find a way of escaping from the presence of God and from reality and from truth, and you hide in fantasy. Okay? In the fantasy world. So you've got to come back to reality and admit, if you're wrong, admit it. There are beautiful shining truths to be seen, of course, about God, about Jesus, about salvation, about the world, about science. Beautiful shining truths. But you won't see any of them until you get to first base. Getting to first base means being willing to admit you're wrong. See, then if in the light of the truth you see that you're wrong and you're willing to admit it, then you're willing to accept some truth. You see what I mean? You're willing to let truth enter your life instead of lies and excuses. See, what do you do now when you make a mistake? Do you admit it, or do you make an excuse or blame somebody else? See, or try to cover it up, pretend it didn't happen. See, there's a quality of being willing to, of wanting to know the truth. That's a very beautiful quality, and you need that. And whether it's something that you have from God or whether He has to give it to you, I don't know. But you need that. Okay? Now, a lot of us, we escape from God for a long time. We make some mistakes. We don't want to admit we're wrong, so we keep escaping. But sooner or later, you have to come to a stop and then admit the truth. Okay? And then you can lose that hardness of heart and begin to have understanding. Then life becomes simple. See, when you have understanding, you can apply the understanding to situations in your life, and things begin to resolve themselves, and your relationship with your kids is better, and with your partner is better, and everything can become better. Okay? So now you see, I always talk about you have to find the presence of God. Okay? So I've just given you a very big clue about finding God, about letting God into your life. And that is to be willing to admit the truth. Okay? Whatever it may be. And to be willing to want to know the truth. Okay? So, that's your very important clue. You see, it's an attitude, isn't it? So you see there's an attitude, or there's, which I can't give that to you. You have to find it somehow yourself. But it's magic. Okay? And then the other thing is the willingness to forgive. But that's a topic for another day. Today I want to talk about letting truth into your life so your heart can be softened, and then you can have understanding, and then you'll also have understanding for yourself. See, a lot of us, you hate other people, you blame them, you hate your dad, you hate your mom, you hate your boyfriend, you hate other people. See, you're jealous of them, or they tease you and so you hate them, or whatever it is. Okay. Then not wanting to see that you hate other people, then you turn it on yourself, so you hate yourself or judge yourself. See, a lot of people do that. You need understanding. Okay? Not resentment, but understanding. My name is Pastor Roland.